Hello, welcome back to the second day of the P.I.L Masterclass Series. And we're still on the conversation, the epoch of transformation, personal evolution for uncommon impact. So, how are you doing today? And if you've seen the first day, the first masterclass yesterday, how was it for you? I would love to hear from you, as usual, from the comment section. Let us know how inspiring, transformative this whole series have been for you. So yesterday we introduced the psychology of personal evolution, and today we are taking the conversation more deeper, more practical, and more intentional. Today we are talking about the process of personal evolution, but just as a way of recap and bringing us up to date, especially for those who maybe haven't seen the first video. I will encourage you to go back and watch the full video because, you would have missed a whole lot. So, but I just want to give you a brief overview of what we were able to achieve yesterday. So, yesterday, we defined personal evolution as an intentional process of becoming. So the whole focus and emphasis on yesterday's class was purely and absolutely on becoming. We emphasized that becoming is more important than doing. And who you become in the process is actually more important than doing. This is important, especially for us young leaders, because we are living in a generation where, it's obvious. A lot of persons clamor for the shiny object syndromes, clamor for instant and quick results, often at the detriment of their own personal evolution, their own inner capacity, their own transformation. So we set that framework yesterday, and we took it further by also stating that vision is the catalyst for transformation. So vision is the foundation for becoming. If you don't have a clearly defined vision of who you are and where you want to be or where you are going, you see, you are going to struggle around this whole subject and process of transformation. It's important that you harness the power of your mind in imagining and developing a clearly defined vision for your life, your future version of yourself, who you want to be. Is that all right? Is that all right? So we also explored how our initial exposures, our experiences and environment contributed to our initial identities, what I described as false identity. So you see, ever before you had the power to make your own choices and decisions, the truth is that most of us were conditioned by those initial exposures, such as your family, such as your school, such as your religious background and environment. All of those things contributed to shaping your identity, shaping your paradigms, the mental lenses through which you see the world. They contributed to shaping your philosophy, the collection of your belief systems, what you believe about life, what you believe about the world, you believe about yourself. You see, this is key. A lot of persons don't have a healthy self-esteem. A lot of people don't have the right belief in themselves, and as a result, they struggle. I shared a story with us yesterday in the previous masterclass about the lion that was bred among the sheep, and I'm going to make a lot of references to that story in this particular class. So it's important that you discover the inner capacity and potential within you. You don't want to be a lion among the sheep. You want to awaken the potential within you. You want to develop the right philosophy, and understanding how those initial experiences shaped you will contribute to your reprogramming. So that is naturally going to lead us into the content of today. And I'm so excited because one of the assignments of this class, like I said, and I will keep repeating it, is not to motivate you only, okay? There is a place of motivation and there is a place of inspiration, and I hope that you are being inspired by these sessions. But more than motivation, more than inspiration, I desire that you grow through the things that I'm teaching you. And you see, the assignment of this class is to help you to practically evolve. It's for practical transformation, practical growth. And so The conversation we are going to have tonight in this particular session is going to help you to delve deeply, go deeply into the science of personal transformation. All right? If you are ready and you are excited, please let us see your reactions in the comment section. Let us know how ready you are for tonight's class. I want to start by saying that transformation is not an event. I think that people approach this subject of transformation with that mindset of thinking that transformation is just an event. They approach it with just that mindset of thinking about the outcome of transformation without realizing that it is the process, it is the journey that makes it worthwhile. So transformation is not just an event, it is a process. Growth is never rushed. When you understand this, you will then understand the significance of true transformation, in the sense that transformation happens from inside out. It is an inside out process and not an outside in process. So it's more focused primarily on your internal formation. And this is why it is termed personal evolution. It is more focused on your internal environment more than your external environment. And that is why becoming is the foundation for transformation. When you approach growth and transformation from the standpoint of the external, what happens is that it can truncate the real work, the deeper work that you need to do within. So you need to understand this absolutely clear, that transformation is an inside-out process. It has to do with your internal belief systems. It has to do with your paradigms. Don't get tired of hearing that word, because they are not just buzzwords. They are real word concepts that define how and why you live your life. It deals with your purpose. It deals with your philosophy. It deals with your beliefs. It deals with your mind. It deals with your conscious and subconscious mind. You see, everything that has to do with your internal makeup, that is where the subject of transformation finds expression. Where you are able to develop, from inside out, it's going to lead to a lasting impact. You are going to become the kind of person that can make what I've described as uncommon impact. Think about it. Like, what do you really want to achieve in life? Who do you really want to become in life? Where do you really see yourself in life? Have you gotten that mental picture? Have you gotten that preferred future of yourself? That is the concept of vision. You see, when you have that clearly defined vision, I think it will drive you into this whole concept of evolving into that kind of person. You need to be hungry. You need to be passionate. You need to be burning with something. And I just hope that I can transmit that passion, the intensity of the passion with which I'm speaking right now to you. You don't need to be on this world. You see, it is extraordinary people that leave lasting legacies in life. If you want to leave a lasting legacy, you need to go from the realm of being ordinary to becoming extraordinary. And it is not possible until you grow, until you evolve, until you become the kind of person, or actively keep growing into the kind of person that has the power and the capacity to actualize all those dreams and goals. But here's an illusion that we often have in our generation. I call it the illusion of transformation. The illusion of transformation is that I think that we live in a time where people just want it quick. They want to abort the process. They are looking for shortcuts. Just like I made reference to this popular quote, there are no shortcuts in life, but there are faster vehicles, alluding to the fact that we live in a generation that is fast. And I mean, you can leverage the fast technology innovations and all of that to do whatever you want to do. But at the root of becoming, why that may be true for goals and achieving goals and productivity, I do not have any contradiction to that. I do not oppose that philosophy, okay? But here's my thought. If you want to use the faster vehicles, are you the kind of person that can board that faster vehicle? So if you don't have the capacity, if you are not aligned internally, you see, at the end of the day, you are going to sabotage the process. Every meaningful change takes time. Think about when you were a kid, a baby, and think about where you are right now. You see, we just look back and we wonder, where did time go? And how did we get where we are? For some of you, you are probably in your early 20s, your mid-20s, or even in your 30s, listening to me. How did all those time fly? But is this how you came into the world? Absolutely no. You were once a toddler. You were once a kid. You were once a baby that was carried in the arms of your mother and everyone that loved you. But here you are right now. Something has happened. A significant change has occurred over time. And this change wasn't rushed. It took you time to get here. So I don't get it. Why do people suddenly want to grow or become different versions of themselves, especially as it revolves around changing their beliefs? Why do they suddenly want to become an entirely different thing overnight? It seems to baffle me. It seems to baffle me. If it took you time to grow biologically, I think that you need to understand that it takes time for you to evolve into the kind of person that your future version requires. This is not mere motivational talk. It is the truth. You see, when you rush the process, it leads to sabotage. Just like I described, nature teaches us that nothing meaningful ever jumps stages. So there are stages of transformation. There are stages of growth. You were once a baby in your mother's, like a fetus. That's where you started. Oh, an embryo. And then you developed into a fetus. And like that, you developed into a full-fledged human. And you were born. And from that time, you went through the childhood stage, went through the adolescent, and now the young adulthood, and all of that and all of that. To get the point, there are stages for growth, and much more the same for your own personal evolution. And this is the danger. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you are going to struggle. Because people don't realize that what we call mindset is actually referring to the way our mind has been set over time. So you see, all the beliefs that you hold today, all the ideologies that you hold, all the philosophies that you hold, it's actually as a result of the programming that has happened over time. If you are 20 years old, that is how long it has taken for you to be programmed into the person you are. If you are 21, that is how long it has taken for you to be programmed into the way you are. If you are 30, that is how long it has taken for you to be programmed into the way you are. And the impact of that is often lost on us, truthfully speaking. We don't realize that those conditionings have sedimented over time to form our worldview, to give us a certain mindset, to give us a certain perspective. Dr. Mensa Otabil explained it this way. When you are trying to mix, you see, if you are building now and you are trying to mix cement with sand and gravel, at that initial stage, it's easier to do all of those turnings. You're able to mix it. It's very easy. It's soft. You can mix the cement and all of that with the stones, whatever it is. You can throw whatever you want to throw into it, and it will just accommodate that. But after some time, for example, maybe now you use it to mold a pillar. After some time, you let it dry, right? And when it is dried, it becomes a hard rock. Now, it will be so foolish of you to want to go and orchestrate any change again at that hardening stage. if ever you want to do that, there are two things that are going to happen. Either you break it down and destroy it, or you leave it as it is. This picture is how the mind has been formed over time. When you were a child, in those early moments of your life, it was easier for all of those perceptions, for all of those philosophies, all of those ideas, all of those ideologies, all of those, the cultural upbringings, the family values. It was easier for you to be shaped. And now, with respect to that formation, if they were negative, that is how you absorbed it. But over time, they sedimented, they became as hard as rock, in quotes, to form your mindset. Now, why do you think that you want to change it and then you can suddenly wake up and just flip the switch? I don't think it happens that way. I think it takes an intense, what I call intense battle to actually undergo this process of transformation. It's an arduous process. It's not a walk in the park. And that is why transformation requires time. So it's an illusion for you to think that because suddenly now maybe you read somewhere or you did something, your mind can change automatically. No. It's intentional. It's deliberate. It's a process. I hope I've made so much sense on that point. I hope you have understood that. So you need to wake up or come out from that illusion of transformation and begin to actually embrace the real process of transformation. All right? Let me know. Are you enjoying the conversation so far? I hope it's making sense to you. I mean, after today and after this class, you are going to go back. You will be so enlightened, and you go back and begin to work with the keys that we are going to share here to actually begin your own journey of transformation. So wherever you are right now, I am so much encouraged, and I believe that change is possible for you. This is what I believe. This is what drives my mindset. Having undergone the journey and undergoing the journey, I believe sincerely that anybody can actually rise beyond their greater challenges. This is what inspires the work that we do in Inspired Nexus. The vision of Inspired Nexus is to help young leaders to overcome their obstacles and limitations to achieve their dreams. It's possible. Transformation is possible. Okay, so we are going to establish this process of transformation by talking about the law of process. And before I go into all of that, let me share a story with you. I'm a graduate of animal and environmental biology from the University of Port Harcourt. And because of my background in AEB, in my final year, I was exposed to the world of insects, the entomology option. That formed part of my final year thesis. So here's what happened. I think during the lockdown, yes, particularly during the lockdown, I stayed back in school and I carried out a pet project. During that time, that was the season where butterflies were being reared. It's called Lepidoptera. So in my department, there was this particular plant that harbored some number of this butterfly larva, the caterpillar. It was at the caterpillar stage, yes. So because of my enthusiasm in the course then, and owing to the thesis I was carrying out, I harvested some of those caterpillar and took it to my hostel. I wanted to rear it. I wanted to watch it grow from that stage where it was to become like a butterfly. But this time around, it was not a butterfly, it was a moth. But they all belong to the same family, all right? So I took it. I think there were about 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And then I put it inside some buckets there in my hostel and left it. So what happened is that, first of all, watch this, please. Don't miss the essence of this story. I took it out from its natural environment where it was feeding consistently. So to simulate that environment, I continued to bring that same leaf in which it was feeding on over some weeks. I think this happened for like 2 weeks. I kept feeding those three larvae with that leaves. And I noticed that, first of all, some of them were responsive and some were not responsive, but they were eating at that larva stage. So it continued over time. Practically, I watched this caterpillar, this larva, morph into the pupa stage, what you call the cocoon. It developed its cocoon, the sedentary stage, the inactive stage. So when it morphed into that sedentary stage, I became concerned. I was so passionate for this butterfly. I wanted to help it. I didn't understand that it had entered a unique stage where it needed that quiet stage, as it were, that inactive stage, to enlarge its capacity. That's where all the wings will be developed, where the muscles will be developed in quote, and all that, before it finally evolved into the butterfly stage. So I became concerned, and consistently I would go to check this pupa, and eventually I kept watching it. I was trying to make it feed. I was trying to just help it, but sadly I was destroying it. When it now reached the third week, or the time for it to hatch into a butterfly, I think out of those three, just one survived, and it didn't even last a day. Others, they, yes, emerged into the moth, but sadly, because I had tampered with their process, because I was trying to help it when it was actually developing, it came out feeble, it came out fragile, it came out weak. Is this already painting a picture in somebody's mind? Some of us, this is how we sabotage our process. This is how we truncate our process. This is how we jump the process and wonder why we are not maybe realizing the goals we want to realize. So this particular experience also shaped my understanding. In fact, it shaped my perspective as towards this subject of transformation. So it made me to realize that deeply life is in phases. It is true for animals, it is true for insects, and it is very much more true for us humans. You can choose to agree with me or disagree, because I am telling you the truth. You see, young people, we need to calm down. I get it. Leverage the technological advancements to advance your life. But when it comes to the true essence of who you are, and if your goal is to leave a mark in this generation, if your goal is to make a meaningful difference, oh please, you need to calm down. You need to evolve. You need to morph into that kind of individual that will not just be here for the next few years and then you disappear because there is no substance. You must appreciate depth over noise. I wish I can communicate or transmit this passion to you, because you see, we are living in a generation where it's social media likes and followership, and it's good. I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it, because that's the extent to which you can make the impact, right? But then, what happens when all of those external metrics fades? Are you driven? Will you be empty inside? Will you be void of yourself? Will you be void of a sense of purpose? Will you be void of a sense of meaning? Are you deriving your sense of meaning? Are you deriving your identity from the validations of people? Or are you driven by this internal conviction of who you are? That's the point I'm trying to make. So, we need to allow time to do its work in our lives. We need to follow the process so that we can achieve tangible impact, so that we can make tangible progress. You need to follow the process so that you can make tangible progress. This has come to be the foundation of my philosophy. I believe strongly that it takes a lifetime to make an impact. And when I mean impact, I mean uncommon impact. Impact at the apex, at the highest level. Inspiring humanity in a way that is unprecedented. But you see, every great thing, it takes time. You need to have the solid foundation. And one of the solid foundation that we are laying is that you need to follow the process so that you can emerge into that kind of person that has everything it takes to inspire your generation. Process is important. Growth is in phases. So talking about the butterfly, we have the 4 stages of the butterfly, and I'm going to use it as a metaphor to describe the significant phases or process of our own personal evolution. So we have the egg stage, we have the larva stage, we have the pupa stage, and then we have the adult stage, the butterfly stage. All right? These 4 stages are significant, and they are also designed in a way that the butterfly follows each of them progressively. So it's a progressive process rather. It is not independent of each other, and they all aggregate together to achieve one purpose. So the end goal of the entire process of the development of the butterfly is to become the adult butterfly, as you see it, with the beautiful wings, with the beautiful colors. But before it gets to that stage, we are saying that it will first of all have to be an egg, and then turn into a larva, and then turn into a pupa before it becomes that. So do you see? Becoming more than what you do is important. That is also similar to our own process of evolution. In the same way that a butterfly grows from the egg stage to the larva stage to the pupa stage and now to the adult stage, that is the similar trajectory that we take to grow. The egg stage is where we all begin. The egg stage is where it all starts. Most of us just want to jump from the egg stage to the adult stage, to the butterfly stage. Is good. But you see, inside the egg is the butterfly. Dr. Miles Monroe calls it the seed principle, the seed potential. Inside the seed is the tree. Inside the seed is the forest. It simply emphasizes the potential of all that seed could become. The egg stage simply emphasizes the potential of all that the butterfly could become but has not yet been. So when you understand this, you would not even, it would be foolish for anybody to trivialize the egg stage. Because this is what I see. A lot of persons don't want to associate with that egg stage. They just want to go to where it's happening, and it's good, it's wonderful, right? But you need to understand that it is here it begins. That potential stage, that is what the egg stage means. It's the stage of discovery of your potential, the stage of discovery of your purpose, the stage where you are awakened to a sense of divine assignment. Just like I shared in the other class, that change begins with awareness. And this is where the journey of personal evolution begins. It is where you are made aware, where you are awakened to your inherent potential, all that you can be but have not yet become, all that you can do but have not yet done is embedded within you at the egg stage. But if you don't discover it, if you don't wake up to that reality, you see, you are going to perambulate through life. You are going to contribute to the head count, the total population of the entire human beings, but you're not going to make any difference. Because it is where we begin. The X stage is where every man begins. They say it this way: every master was once a beginner. I know that we want to get to that mastery level. That's where we should all aspire to. But can you be willing to start at the X stage? It is where purpose is hashed. It is where your potential is uncovered. There is so much that God has embedded within you, within me, within every one of us. There is no human being on this earth that is empty or useless. And you see, this is the key to your relevance in life. This is the key to your significance in life. This is the key to your success in life. Uncovering your gifts, discovering your talents and your potential is the starting phase. If you want to make a difference in your world, you have to awaken to the realization of your giftings, your talents, and your innermost potential, your inherent potential. Just as that lion was lost in the head of the sheep among the flock, without knowing its sense of purpose, its nature, its identity. It was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate that it was even bleating like the sheep instead of roaring. It was diminished to that deplorable state. And it's sad. So what happens is that at this X stage, you awaken to that potential until the lion was awoken to his potential. He could not go on to maximize his potential. The X stage is where potential is awakened and discovered, as we have emphasized. So, talking about the X stage, there are 3 pointers to helping you, what I call the pointers to discovering purpose. 3 pointers that help you to discover your purpose. 3 pointers that help you to hatch that egg within you. The first one is your passion. Your passion simply means what you love to do, what you naturally love to do. It is what excites you, what evokes this energy within you. Every one of us have the things that we are passionate about. Some are passionate about singing, some are passionate about writing, some are passionate about speaking, some are passionate about playing football. All of those different passions underscore one significant fact: that God has placed within us these passions to lead us to our purpose. I believe this deeply. Now, not all passions are going to lead you into your purpose. Not all passions are going to evolve into purpose. But purpose cannot be discovered without references to at least 1 or 2 of your passions. So you want to take it seriously. What is that thing that you love to do? What is that thing that you naturally love doing? What is that thing that comes easily? What is that thing that just excites you all the time, that you find yourself naturally attracted to? Your interests are not just mere fantasies. They are pointers to purpose. So, for example, today I'm an author of 6 books. But it didn't just start today. I didn't just discover it out of the blues. It started as a passion. From my childhood, I began to write. I loved writing. I loved reading. I wrote lots and lots of novels then that were unpublished. But that has naturally evolved and helped me now to develop that writing skill, and now I am authoring books as a result of that passion that was cultured. So the assignment of discovering your passion is to help you nurture it, is to help you guide it, is to help you culture it, to help you develop it. It is often said this way: if money were no longer the problem, and if time were no longer the problem, What is that one thing that you find yourself doing and doing without getting tired? You even want to invest your time, you want to invest your energy, you want to invest your resources, everything that signifies your passion. And the beautiful thing about passion is that they are inherently wired. So you see, your temperaments contribute to your passion. Your gifts and your talents, they contribute to your passion. Your unique personality contribute to your passion. And this is what makes us distinct and uniquely different. Your passion does not have to make sense to anybody. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone at all. It just have to be something that naturally excites you and something that you are just naturally attracted to and drawn to doing. You enjoy doing it. That is a pointer to purpose. That is where the X stage, this is the assignment of the X stage, discovering that passion. The next pointer is, what are the problems that you love to solve? We often ignore the power of problems in helping us discover our life's assignment. Problems are not just existing arbitrarily. Wherever there is a problem, there is a potential for a solution. But it's not even about the problem or the solution. There is somebody that has been uniquely wired to provide a solution to that problem. Think about the light bulb. We have Thomas Edison. We credit that to him today. He provided that solution and helped to combat the issue of darkness across human civilization. What would have been if there was not a man like him? So, what are those problems that continually niggles at your heart? What are those problems that continually calls your attention? What are those problems that continually attracts you? You see yourself, you are passionate about solving them. It is not random. It is intentional. It is the unique design of the Creator to help you harness that potential within you and to provide meaningful, tangible solution within that context for your world. Problems are powerful. Problems are powerful. And you should begin to pay attention to the problems you are curious about in your environment. That is how my journey of leadership development for young people started. When I began to understand that a lot of young people struggle with some of the challenges I myself have been through, it began to evoke a sense of passion within me, a sense of purpose. What can I do to help fellow young leaders like me to overcome these obstacles? What can I do to help fellow young leaders like me overcome their challenges, to achieve their dreams? We are all limited in certain ways. You see, a lot of young people struggle with so many things. And those limitations pose as obstacles to their dreams, to achieving their dreams. Don't ignore your problem. The third pointer is your proficiency, the area of your proficiency. Your proficiency is where passion and purpose, passion and problem rather, intersects. It is that unique ability within you that is just inherently easy for you. It is that thing that you find easy to do. It comes easily for you, but others may struggle to do it. It's not random. It's intentional. Dr. Sam Ekundayo calls it the God dimension within you. It is that unique manifestation of the ability of God, that unique gifting that God has given you, that you just find yourself so easily doing. Most times we take it for granted, but no. Now you are learning that it actually helps you to discover your purpose, discover your potential, discover yourself. So when passion and problem and proficiency intersects, purpose is born. What are you great at? What are you good at? What do you find it so easy to do? It comes naturally to you. You should begin to pay attention to that. All right? If the X stage is the potential stage, the discovery stage, the lava stage is that stage where capacity is developed. I want to go back to my illustration about the experiment I carried out in my final year. You see, one of the beautiful things about these lepidopteras, the butterflies, the moths, is that during their larva stage, it is their most active stage. During the larva stage, they are usually what you consider or call destructive. Here's what happens. So in my department then, that plant where this larva that I collected were used to feed on, at a particular period of the year, it's usually full of life. It's all greenish. You see it, it's very green. But when this larva hatch on it, they begin to feed on those leaves. So here's what happened. For a particular period, you can see that plant full of life, very green. But then, after a certain time, when you come inside the department, you see the plants, they are all bare to their bare bones. You will just be seeing only the stem and the branches. That's because the larva has eaten up the entire leaves. It's the caterpillar stage. It's so hungry, it's eating. It eats almost anything and everything. But here is the thing. It is eating the thing that is relevant to its current stage. This is where most of us miss it. Some of you are not hungry enough. You have passion, yes. You are passionate, yes. You have vision, yes. You want to make a difference, yes. But it's not being reflected in the level of your hunger. It's not being reflected in the level of your pursuit to that thing you say you want to do or who you want to become. You see, this larva stage is the stage where you are actively eating. You need to eat. You need to voraciously consume everything that is relevant to who you must become. There is a certain kind of person you have envisioned or you are envisioning. And there is a certain kind of thing you need. There are qualities you need to develop to become that kind of person. That's the point I'm making. And it takes hunger. How hungry are you? How passionate are you? How hungry are you? It will reflect in your pursuit to personal development, personal growth, personal transformation. More than what you say, it will reflect in your actions. How you are intentionally developing yourself. It will reflect there. So this is a wake-up call. This is a challenge to you. This is the season where you begin to stretch yourself. Capacity is being developed. For example, you say you want to be a great public speaker. How are you refining your speaking skills? How are you actively sharpening your speaking skills? You need to be hungry. You need to eat. How many courses are you taking? How many books are you reading? Or how many books have you read? Are you the type that say, I don't have time to read? If you don't have time to read, you don't have time to lead. If you are not actively developing yourself, then there will be no space for you. It will just remain what it is, potential. Here's one thing you must realize. A point comes when people stop celebrating potential and begin to ask for the evidence of the potential. Potential is good. Potential is where we all start, right? As I've emphasized, everything begins at the X stage. That is where we all begin. But then, how about turning that potential into purpose? How about turning that potential into productivity? How about turning that potential into profit? And this is the assignment of the larva stage. This is where it becomes practical now. So you must actively change the belief systems that have not been serving you, the mindset. This is where you begin to unlearn and relearn. This is where you begin to reprogram your mind, exposing yourself to new paradigms, exposing yourself to new environments, exposing yourself to new relationships. This is where you are eating. You are eating things, intentionally eating the things that will constructively shape you into that kind of person you need to become. There are 3 things you must pay attention to during this stage. I'll quickly run through that. Your vision. You need to, this is the stage where vision is made clear. It's the stage where whether you know you are lying to yourself or you are serious. Because if the vision is clear, then it will drive you continuously to take action. So this is the stage where vision is refined. So you discover your potential and then you develop that clear and compelling vision that consistently makes you to move decisively, that consistently makes you to act. As I say, you cannot consistently move towards a vision, towards a future you have not seen. So you see, it is a process and it's a journey. Transformation entails movement, and it is the product of vision that helps you to keep moving. This is where you develop your values. If your vision is who you want to be or why you are existing, then your values is how you will get there. During this stage, you are not focused on becoming any other thing, but evolving into that image, that picture, that mental picture that you have gotten, you have grasped in your mind. Values shape your identity. Values shape your belief. Values shape how you live, how you interact, how you behave. Values are important. Values guide your vision. It makes you not to derail from your path. It preserves your focus. So now you are not, when you have discovered yourself, when you've discovered your potential, you are not driven by the external pressures. And I think this is where a lot of young people actually miss it. Because when you don't know who you are, then you can fall for anything. So your values must align with the vision that you have developed, with who you want to be. And then you also need to develop your virtues. And this is where transformation lives. And this is what makes transformation a process and not a journey. Rather, and not an event. Transformation is a journey. And the beauty of transformation is in who you evolve to become. Who you become at the end of the day, as we keep saying, is more important than what you do. So, your virtues are developed here. The kind of character quality you exude, the kind of behavior you exude, this is where it is developed. We are living in an activity-driven generation, a hyperactive generation. Skills are not lacking. Competencies are not lacking. Giftings are not lacking. Talents are not lacking. But what is largely lacking are the virtues. We have ditched and compromised those moral standards that uphold or govern human interactions at the expense or at the altar of just achieving results by any means. Now nobody cares whose ox is God as long as you are producing results. That is dangerous. That is not a healthy way to live. That is not a reflection of true leadership. This is why you must evolve. Why you are sharpening your skills, why you are sharpening your gifts, why you are sharpening your talents. You need to sharpen your character. You need to sharpen your virtues. You need to intentionally, and this does not happen automatically, like we have said. It's an intentional process. And this is what makes me believe that anybody can evolve. It doesn't matter the labels they are put on you, all right? It doesn't matter the things that they have said. As long as you are intentional, as long as you are dedicated to your development, it's a matter of time. And the story will just turn around. Everybody makes mistakes. This is not about preaching about perfection. Everybody makes mistakes. We are imperfect beings. You are not always going to get it right. But the point is, how willing are you to amend your mistakes at every moment where you happen to make some of those mistakes? So you need to keep growing. You need to keep growing. Let the quality of who you are, let what you do match who you are. Let what you do flow from who you are. That is the point. The world needs character-driven leadership at this point more than just hyperactive leadership. The third stage of the entire process, wow, I hope you are really following, and I hope that the class is really making sense to you. The third stage of the butterfly process of transformation is one of the most ironical stage. And this also applies to the process of our own personal evolution. I'm going to compare that. You see, it's so baffling that the butterfly, when it's at the larval stage, is very active, is everywhere, is constantly, voraciously eating, devouring plants and leaves. And you would naturally think that after that phase, it should emerge into a butterfly. It should emerge into the adult stage, because why not? It has eaten, it's full of life. But the surprising thing is that it quietly morphs. It suddenly loses those feeding abilities and morphs into the pupa. It develops the cocoon and enters the sedentary stage. And if you don't understand that particular stage, you would assume, you will call it useless. You will call it good for nothing. You will term it rubbish. And you would even want to help it. Just like, do you remember the story of my experiment? How I wanted to help it at this particular stage, this pupa stage. I wanted to help it feed. I was concerned about it. I didn't know that I was destroying it. This is how many of us emerge half-baked or partially developed or not fully optimized, because we don't understand the significance of this pupa stage. It is the stage where nothing seems to be happening. It is the stage where it looks like life is slow, but those seasons are actually shaping the version of yourself that needs to emerge. It's shaping, is the stage of capacity enlargement. It's the season where wisdom is being developed, emotional intelligence is being developed, your mindset is being refined. I mean, you are just intentionally becoming the kind of person that is able to achieve or execute all your dreams and your goals. If you don't realize this, you will rush the stage. Please, I'm passionately pleading to us young leaders, because we are living in a generation that is almost like we're in a haste, and we miss that point, that period of solitude, that period where it is you and yourself. And that is why you need to discover your potential. That is why you need to discover your purpose. Because one of the reasons why people dabble into things that they shouldn't ordinarily dabble into is because they are pressured. I believe in inspiration. This is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm hoping that it's inspiring you in some way to evolve, to take meaningful action, to grow into the kind of person that you should become. But never succumb to pressure. Don't let what any other person is doing move you to do what you're not wired to do. We are living in a generation that is heavily driven by pressure, and a lot of young people are succumbing to that pressure. You need to be grounded. You need to be thick in your own skin. You need to be grounded. You need to be grounded in your sense of purpose. You need to be grounded in your identity, knowing who you are. And so if you happen to find yourself in that season where it looks like nothing is happening, it looks like it is sedentary, it looks like it is slow, it is characterized by seasons of delay, what looks like delay, what looks like slow progress, what looks like no progress, all of those things. Yet, it is those seasons that are shaping that future version of yourself that is going to emerge. It is important. You don't need to skip the process. And please, don't rush the process. Every stage matters. So the last stage is where we all aspire towards. The butterfly stage, the adult stage. It is the stage of execution. The stage of doings, where you are showing your workings. And I want to challenge you, I want to encourage you to, please, by all means, dream big. You are not here to play small. You are not here to live a mediocre life. You are not here to live an ordinary life. You are here to live an extraordinary life. You may appear so insignificant now. Don't worry. You may appear so little now. Don't worry. You may think that there is nothing about your life now. Don't worry. Just keep developing yourself. Just keep growing. And keep dreaming. It is just a matter of time. And you see, you begin to do things that your future self will appreciate. So, the whole journey of transformation leads to this point. This is the outcome where you evolve into that kind of person, that kind of leader, that kind of individual, that kind of man, that kind of woman that is capable, that has the capacity, the internal capacity to do what you have envisioned, or to become, to do what you have envisioned your future self doing. Dream big. Be so hungry, like I said. Aspire towards greatness. There is you are more than you can ever think of, and you can achieve more than you can ever think of. So, the essence of it, the exploit is the essence. But we are saying that before you get to that stage, there is a process that leads to it. You need to evolve naturally so that you can handle the weight of that. Here is the danger. If you skip process, if you miss any step, the weight of who you become is going to crush you. Just like those butterflies I read and tried to help them skip certain processes, they came out undeveloped, not fully formed. Yes, they had the wings, but the wings were weak. This is speaking to somebody right now. You need strong wings. You need strong wings for the strong winds that is ahead of you. So that is why you need to evolve naturally. That is why you don't need to skip the law of process. So to bring this class and this particular edition of the masterclass to a wrap, I want to say about that you need to focus on who you become. And I'm going to leave you with this as a reminder so that you continuously remember it. Become. Kindly take down these acronyms. So, B stands for belief audit. This is a summary of everything we've shared so far. Belief audit, energy awareness or environment awareness, consistent system, developing consistent system, routines and habits that help you to become. Ordering your priority, manifesting your potential, and the last but not the least, executing. So this is the whole assignment of becoming. It is to become the kind of individual that is able to make uncommon impact. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, you want to be the change you want to see in the world. Mariam Wilson put it this way: you are not here to shrink your light. You are not here to dim your light. You are here to shine your light. And don't be afraid to shine your light. Don't dim your light so that others around you can be comfortable. You are here to shine. So, you are here to manifest purpose. And I encourage you to go all in. Keep developing yourself. Keep evolving. And keep becoming. See you in the next edition of the masterclass.